Hello, you guys. Good morning. We are so excited to be here and just to sit down with you, have coffee, and just chat about some things that have been on our hearts as we have been thinking of you. So yesterday, we posted on our Instagram stories a question, and it was, is fear holding you back from your creative journey? And if so, what fear is it? I might have worded it differently, but it was something that was the gist of it. And we received so many responses, and it was so encouraging to us, encouraging in the way that said, this is something we need to talk about. And so I'm just going to read one anonymously. Fear of waste when I screw up. Waste of money, materials, and time. Making something that I just want to throw away. It not being perfect. These are all responses. Imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough. And those responses just broke my heart, broke our hearts. And we just want to speak some encouragement to you guys this morning and just love on you and maybe just give you some things to consider and to dwell on today as you gain some new perspective on what creativity is and what it isn't. And some things that maybe can empower you to move forward and get over some of these hurdles, these fears
to work
that
through them
are holding you back. So one of the things Josie and I talked about yesterday is this concept of the difference between creativity and skill. I think people feel that they get that confused.
They use them as one and the same, and they're two completely different things.
Yes, they are. And creativity is not skill-based. It is, everybody has it. We're all creative. And we are able to express that in different ways. And so here are some things that we wanted to go over. Embrace the process over the project. So in response to the gal who said one of her fears is buying things and then the project not turning out.
And wasting it. The materials.
Understanding that that is not waste. You have to look at what the value is in what you learned. In fact, I wrote it down. The skills that you're learning as you're doing that. And the value is in the process. It's in the journey. It's in the learning. Not how the project turns out.
Right.
That's how you have to look at it.
Right.
And getting in there and doing, it doesn't mean you're not afraid to. It means you do it anyway.
Yes.
And you do it again. And you do it again. And that's how skills are built.
Right. And that's how courage is built. And
and
to the other aspect of that is you're not only getting the resource of the skills that you're learning as you do this imperfectly, but also that you're pressing yourself to do the reps and to build your courage. We came from a family of sales, and I remember, and my dad used to hammer this home, I actually I don't know how old, 16, I sold Kirby vacuum cleaners. And
door
my dad,
to door, baby.
Yes. And my dad said, it's all about the doors. You got to hit this many doors to get that one sale. And that's actually, you can look at that a few different ways, but to me it was encouraging. If I just put in the work, every no I get is one step closer to that yes. And any learning, stretching process, there's that aspect of it.
Right.
So
exactly. And raw reps. That's what Josie and I were talking about as
the
we
raw
sat on the
reps.
couch last night. Don't get caught up in how it turns out. Just repeat and do it again.
Yes.
And whatever the skill is, whether it be oil painting or a DIY piece of furniture like all of us are passionate about. Whatever the skill is that you're trying to learn, don't get caught up in how that project turns out. Just get in there and do it and look at the value. The value is the process and what you're learning.
Yeah.
And somebody said, and I know I've said this to you guys before, but the most mistakes are the most data rich experience.
Learning. The data rich learning experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So understand that and see the value in that.
I think that many times we want to enjoy that process and just kind of like literally have joy in that process. But we almost, I think, guilt ourselves out of that thinking productivity and judgment.
Yes.
I think that hampers our ability to feel that freedom to enjoy our creativity exactly where it is right now.
Yeah, you know what? You kind of hit on something there. I feel like the American culture especially is so about efficiency and productivity that it can really hinder our creativity.
Grading.
Well, and those responses, we got several responses about if I spend the money on the products and then it doesn't turn out, it was a waste of money.
Yes.
That is a perspective of efficiency. And I think that is really ingrained in our American culture. I look at cultures like the Eastern European cultures, and they are an artistic people, and they are different. They approach it differently.
Different culture.
They're raised to value their creativity and to just immerse themselves in it, and they see it as productive.
Yeah. Our education system is actually so it works against these ideas we're talking about. It's an industrial formatted system that is about parroting, and not all education, but that our system, our traditional system. So it works against us from the time that we're very small, I think, many times. So.
Absolutely.
Another thing, as we were talking about what to do and how to give yourself that freedom and get in and do the reps, that's just the reps. You think of that basketball player who's running down the court doing the layups over and over and over. And I mean, maybe besides Michael Jordan.
Sorry, guys.
Maybe aside from Michael Jordan, we don't start that way. And we can't get that, push ourselves creatively unless we're willing to do the reps right where we're at. But one real quick thing, you do your piece, and there's this self-awareness happening that is healthy and good. One thing I like to do is put that piece when you're at a spot where you're like, I'm not feeling it, or I'm not sure where this is going, where I want to take a break. Set it somewhere where you can catch it in your peripheral vision, because you're getting that unplanned, fresh perspective on it. And as you do that for a couple of days, look at it and ask yourselves, okay, what do I love about this? And what is not working for me about this? What is it that is fighting me on this? And kind of pay it. And it can be something simple like a color, or the saturation of a color, or a line that's distracting, or whatever it is. Pay attention to those. Jot down little notes.
So Wendy Perry says that one of her issues is finding the time. She gets caught up. It sounds like she might have a creative business, but she gets caught up in the back office. Here is one thing I would encourage you to do, and it's, I'm sure, something that you've thought of, and just, we all struggle with this, but put it on your calendar and protect it.
Make time for it.
Your livelihood, it sounds like you have a livelihood in this, depends on that. And so look at it as a business investment when you have a creative business, and Josie and I struggle with this too. We really are getting to the place where we're making sure that we carve out time to have vision time, creative time, working with our products. So you need to do that. And even if it's not your business, creating and carving out time to be creative is so important and so life-giving. We're created to be creative. And as such, we are filled up. Our cups are filled by being creative. So protect that time, put it on your calendar, and protect it.
Yeah. I feel like creativity is kind of like we have this well built into us of it. And we tend to think of like, am I creative? Am I not creative? Am I going to be creative? Da, da, da. I feel like we are inherently creative. Settle that. It's how much are we allowing to be expressed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. Royce says, I always tell my audience they can't say they have tried something until they have tried it at least 3 times.
That's good.
I think that's really good.
That is so good.
I love that.
And that so much speaks to, I've shared in the past that my husband Aaron had shared that he would not play a sport unless he was bomb diggity right off the bat at it, even never having played it. And he was really good at wrestling and soccer. He shined. But so he didn't get into any other sports because of that. And I get that. That's so kind of pride. And we, but that's the thing. Get in and do it, and give yourself that beautiful beginnings that is messy and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That is such a good one, Royce.
Okay, so Teresa Lamb Ramirez says, I haven't even started my first project, but I have the supplies. So I'm going to challenge you here, Teresa. In the next week to 2 weeks, I want you to put on your calendar a chunk of time where you're going to get your products out and you're going to make something. Or just play. It doesn't have to be a project. Maybe you just want to start playing with the products. Make sure you do that. Don't just sit and stare at them. I know they give us happy feelings. I'm the same way. When I have all my products, your stash, and you look over at it and you think of all the possibilities and you get excited, and that's good in and of itself. But get them out and actually use them and play with them. So that's my challenge to you, Teresa. Michelle says, we would never allow anyone to talk to our children the way we talk to ourselves. That's word.
And our words program our brains.
Yeah.
We literally brainwash ourselves by those things, and we need to be really intentional and careful about that.
Right. Joyce Duda, sorry if I am pronouncing your name incorrectly, says, I have so many projects to do, it's overwhelming. I don't know which one to do first. I have that problem too. I have so many ideas in my head. Keep a journal of all of your ideas, write them down, and be as specific as possible, because you'll look at something and think, what the heck was I talking about? Ask me how I know. I've done...
In the moment you think, oh, I'll know what this is.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, oh, what is this?
But write them down and just pick one. Don't overthink it. Just pick one. And then Cindy says, hello from Alaska. Hello, Cindy. Right now, it's important to remember that creativity is important for your mental health. I just purchased my first set of IOD transfer stamps and inks. Now I just need to use them. You are so right. It's like what I was mentioning a couple minutes ago, that creativity fills our cup. We were created to create, however that manifests itself. And when we do that, it really fills our cup. And right now, more than ever, I think people are gravitating toward that and the need for it. So I completely agree. Our mental health.
Totally. And we're talking about, getting our hands in art stuff and mixing around. But you've heard us, Sally and I, tout this in the past. We don't we tend to focus on those creative things, but everything we do, we make, whether it's a accounting system that you're stoked on because, you know, numbers light you up, or a variation on a tool that you tweaked, inventiveness, or cooking a home cooked meal for your family. There's creativity expresses itself in so many ways.
Yeah.
But typically people tend to pigeonhole that into the visual arts. And yeah, exactly. So just remember that. Remember that. It may be that paint isn't even your, you know, creative cup of tea for expression, that you are more, or organizing. You know, there's so many ways that creativity is expressed.
And it changes over time. I used to, meals for me with 5 kids were just a have to. Something that was on my to-do list that you know, they always want to eat. Every day they want to eat.
They're wanting it every day.
But now I actually really enjoy making food that I want to see them enjoy. Like, I think creatively about how I'm going to make a meal that I can just see them light up and get excited about. So that is, you know, something that you may, what lights you up will change over time too.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, we do have to wrap it up. We've got some boring business stuff to do. So we're going to say goodbye. Thanks for having coffee with us this morning. And we just really enjoyed this time. Keep the conversation going. We will poke in as able and keep talking to you guys about this important subject.
You guys are awesome.
We love you.
Mwah.
Bye.